Hey guys, it's Michelle from Weekend Craft here, and I am obsessed with leopard print lately. Anyone else jumping on this trend? So much so that I've even started crafting with leopard print. So today we're gonna do one of those crafts. We are gonna learn how to make these leopard print polymer clay earrings. Excited? Because I sure am. It's super easy to make this leopard print pattern in clay. It looks harder than it is. So if you want to follow along, I have a detailed supply list linked below, also with a full tutorial for you to reference on weekendcraft.com. But I'm going to walk you through all of the steps in this video. So let's go get started. So today we're going to be making some leopard print polymer clay earrings. So I'm going to start out, I'm using all Sculpey Souffle. So this is the color Mocha. And then I'm going to be using the brown and the black from the Souffle multi-pack. This is all oven baked clay. So I'm going to use the Mocha as my base. So I'm just gonna break off a large chunk of this. I'll work it with my hands a little bit. I'm starting to knead it. And this is a glass mat here from We Are Memory Keepers. And it just helps because the clay doesn't stick to it. So when we roll out that slab, and you can roll it out using one of these like acrylic rollers, but for me, I like to use the Darius clay roller, which is kind of like a pasta maker attachment. So I have the clay roller set to medium, which is about a 5, and then I am going to crank the clay through. So you get a nice, almost like pasta. I want it a little bit wider. So I'm gonna go through this way here. You can do this a couple times. I like to do the lightest color first. So do it one more time. This is a great way to mix your colors too, running it through. So we have a slab like this. Okay, now I've set this on a 9, which is really thin. I'll roll it through. It's just a really, really thin layer. And then I'm gonna do my black. I like to do the black last because in case it leaves any residue on the rollers, it won't come out on your lighter colors. Yeah, just a little bit of black. Now we're ready to make our leopard print. Okay, so to make the leopard print, we are gonna use the Mocha as our base layer. And then we are going to actually rip small, like organic pieces of the black and the brown onto the Mocha. A little bit of my nail here. So what I'm doing is just ripping small pieces like this. You're gonna put them right into your clay. And I like the organic look of the ripped edges. So we're gonna do some small pieces, some oblong pieces. So we have our black pieces here, and what we're gonna do is come in and do the exact same thing with the brown, and we're just gonna rip small pieces and overlap it on the brown, on the black. So as you can see, I started to add more black in with the brown, just sort of filling it out, because once we start making our slices for the earrings, you're gonna see everything a lot closer in, so you wanna get a good amount of leopard print into every cut. So in order to make this all a little more flat, because the leopard prints are raised, I'm gonna use my acrylic roller here, and I'm just gonna start to smooth everything out. This helps if you left any fingerprints or nail prints. So one thing that I always have trouble with is leaving a little bit of an indentation from my fingernails, just because it's a lot more detailed when you're ripping it. And look at that, we have our leopard print. Looks just like my dress, right? And it's nice and smooth. And now we're gonna be ready to cut. So I have a set of leather punches, and that's what I'm gonna be using for cutting out the clay for my earrings. I also have just ordered a bunch of shapes on Etsy that I'm really excited to get. But let's start punching. Just gonna press it down lightly and then lift it up, and that leaves your indentation. So I do it close enough where I can get as much cuts as possible. So now I'm going to use this blade to transfer all of my earring pieces to a cookie sheet. This is just an Amazon sill pad. That way it makes it like non-stick for the earrings. And we're gonna bake this at 275 for 35 minutes. And this blade just makes it easier to come along and get your earring pieces. This way we're not leaving fingerprints on the earring pieces. This is so much easier on a glass mat than it is on a plexiglass mat. Basically, when I was doing the plexiglass mat, like the earrings were kind of distorting when I was taking them up. Okay, so now that all of our clay pieces are baked, I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding these down. So I'm using micro mesh sanding pads. So I'm gonna start at like a coarser grade, And this will help get all of the unfinished sort of jaggedy pieces from the side off. And then I'm gonna work my way to a finer grit, and this one almost feels like leather, and that will help buff out the earrings. Okay, so now we're ready to build out our earrings. So we have these jump rings here. I have a bunch that I got off of Amazon, all different colors. And we are going to connect all the pieces of clay. So I'm just pulling these apart a bit. And then I'm gonna put it through the hole that we had made before. Now some of these may need to open up that hole a little bit more. Put it through. I think these are 8mm. I think that next time I order, I'm gonna order 6, just so they're a little bit tighter. Go, pops through. We're just going to close up the back of it. You're just going to tighten them. There you go. Actually, the 8mm work pretty well. So let's do them all. Okay, so let's finish off these earrings. So what we're gonna do now is attach the post for the backing of the earring. So I'm using a Loctite universal 60-second glue. I'll flip these on its back. Dab of glue on the back here and put it right on the back of the earring. We're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna repeat that till all my earrings are done. And I have a bunch of different size posts in case, like when I use a smaller circle, I'm gonna have to use a smaller backing on the earring.